I woke up in the morning with a question in my head. I rolled out onto the floor out of my bed and I said, who's gonna answer this?
The theater girls are.
Yeah, they're gonna answer this.
They're
And
Broadway
make me a star.
Hey, welcome to Theater Girls.
Welcome.
I am Rachel Schur.
I'm Barrett Wilbert Weed.
And we are your crazy ants, here to answer all your burning weirdo theater industry
Very specific questions.
backstage questions. You email us all the time, which we're obsessed with, to theatergirls4e@gmail, which is THTR GRLZ 4e, like forever, at gmail.com. And this question came from Mia, who actually asked a different question on another episode we have. So way to go, Mia. If you ask really cool questions.
The question about the ghosts.
Yeah, the question about the ghosts.
Yeah, she's 2 for 2 at
You're
this
2
point.
for 2. So if you ask really good questions, you may get featured twice. So without further ado, let's take it away.
Yeah, play it.
Hi girls, this is Mia from Peru. Well, here's my question. If you could permanently erase one theater trend from existence, like one entire thing the industry always does, what would it be and why? Love you girls.
Oh, love you too.
We love you too. And what a loaded question.
I know. What a question that could get us in serious major trouble.
And this is the last episode of Theater Girls.
We're canceling ourselves.
Yeah, we're just going to take it.
You know what? Let's just call it. We tried to be
We're
appropriate
our own
and
PR
not ruin
crisis managers. So. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I mean, look.
I mean, yeah.
Many.
Honestly, so many. There are so many we could say. I think
there are a few right now that I've seen a lot of people post on TikTok and the social platforms, if you will.
the socials.
The socials. One of them being celebrity stunt casting,
Sure.
which I
Can I tell you, it doesn't bother me. If you're good, you're good.
Well, what if you're not?
That's fair. Well, I guess that's the term, like stunt
Yeah.
casting.
It's not like Jinx Monsoon and O'Mary. Like that is
iconic.
That's just iconic and amazing and wonderful.
That's just talent and gifts
that's
galore.
just insane. But
I guess I was thinking more like George Clooney making his Broadway debut, where I'm like, yeah, I like George Clooney. I don't like that the tickets were $900 or whatever, but I like him.
You know, I have very, very, very firsthand experience with this.
Oh, no, what are you talking about?
I mean,
you mean that show you've been in for 7 years?
I think that Chicago is actually kind of like the perfect example of this because it's not always casting actors and singers. It's sometimes casting reality show winners or, you know, or actors that haven't really been in the business for a minute or, you know, and it actually puts it's a lot of pressure. Let me just say, like, if you're coming into any show, let alone Chicago, which is like a very naked experience, literally and figuratively, like you're really just out on your own there a lot.
Costume-wise and emotionally.
Yeah, it's like very bare. And for those of you who don't know, in Chicago, every couple of months, we have a headliner, a new celebrity coming in.
Which is nuts.
That's
a lot of turnover.
It's a lot of turnover for sure. Mostly going into the role of Roxie, but sometimes Billy, sometimes Major Mama Morton. Velma's a little harder to do because it's much more of a dancing. She got to do, it's much more of a dancey role.
She has to flip.
She's got to flip and do number 17.
Yeah.
But I think that it's really interesting. And I think when I first joined the show, there were people celebrity-wise that would come in and I understudied Roxie at the time and I'd feel not necessarily demoralized because I feel like that's a really dramatic way of looking at it. But I think I felt like, oh man, like I went to school for this, you know, what did I do?
Harumph.
Harumph, exactly. But then as it went on, first of all, most of the people have been really awesome.
Yeah.
And very nice and cool and like such
I'm so excited to be there.
So excited to be there.
It's a lot of debuts.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of celebrity Broadway debuts, which is kind of crazy.
It's cool. But my two things that I think are actually positive are one, keeps people employed. And 2, these people are actually bringing audiences to Broadway that have literally never seen a Broadway show before.
Yeah.
And, people would say, this was my first Broadway show. Like, I'm totally a fan. I'm addicted now. And, some of them were even from New York. And they were like, I'm just a big fan of Pamela Anderson, you know? So I think that in that world, I was like, wow, this is actually bringing a lot of people to the theater that never would have.
Yeah.
And
Chicago's a great show. I mean, I just went to see you the other day because I hadn't seen you I hadn't seen you do Roxy for a long time, and Sahar and I came to see you, our friend of the pod, Sahar Malani. And you were amazing, and the show is in such good shape for a long-running show, because that's one of the dangers of long-running shows is that the quality can kind of tank if the people in charge are not really keeping it in good shape.
I will say that about the Chicago. It's like there's always rehearsals, there's always notes, there's always
It's a good show. And
I'm
glad that new people who've never seen a Broadway show, if that's their intro to Broadway, that's a great intro.
Yeah, and I think that yes, I've seen the TikToks of people coming to see our show when certain celebrities were in, getting upset or whatever. And I get that, but I also know that you have to love show business. You can't just love the art form, because this is probably a whole other episode, but I'll just say this, like, you can't just love, only people that trained. I mean, this is like show business. So you have to look at that as a whole. And if you're looking over here and saying, okay, all these people are going to see Chicago, people that have never seen a Broadway show before, maybe next week they want to go again to another show and they're going to get tickets for $6 or whatever, what have you. You're actually creating more interest than any type of detriment you think it's doing to the art form. Yeah.
Right. I think also the idea that specifically for Chicago, the idea that having someone like Pamela Anderson or Adriana Mannix, did I just say her name wrong?
You said it so wrong. It was not one thing was right. Do you mean Ariana Madix? You said Adriana Mannix. I love you, Ariana, if you're listening to this.
Sorry. Yeah, my coffee hasn't kicked in.
But Ariana, Ariana's a theater girl.
Ariana
literally.
Madix.
Yeah.
But the idea that having people like that come in and make their Broadway debut is for a matter of months, they're not in it for years and years, is taking employment away from somebody else who has studied and is more, should have that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, showbiz, it is a business. It's not a meritocracy.
That's showbiz, kid.
And as much as other people might argue to the contrary, it's just not. These are businesses. Especially long-running shows are businesses. They got to do what they got to do.
Broadway is a business. It's a real estate business.
It's a corporate entity.
Yeah.
Broadway is corporate theater.
Yeah.
Which is why controversially enough, I've never really identified as somebody who's a fan of Broadway.
Interesting.
I really have only ever identified as a person who is a huge fan
musicals.
of theater.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge fan of theater. Love the medium.
Yeah.
Put up with the business. That's
and again,
where I'm at.
That could be another episode, but it's Broadway maybe shouldn't always be for every actor the peak of Mount Everest. We should have more of a collective understanding now that Broadway is its own entity now.
Yes.
Do we want change? Absolutely. What's another trend? All these movie musicals coming in and, or movies coming in to turn into a musical, which,
movie to musical adaptations.
That's another trend that I don't totally love all the time, because 9 times out of 10, I don't think they do well.
But also, one of the things that especially when I'm teaching, one of the things that I like to bring up with people is if you go back and look at Broadway seasons throughout history,
Always
since the advent of Broadway, there have been movie to stage
forever
adaptations since we were doing this.
I think the issue now
and
is
since
the
film
surplus.
existed.
The surplus of it now.
Or I guess that leads me into my trend that I would actually really like to see disappear. Is I believe that there's a lot of assumptions about what quote unquote tourists would like to see, or are even not even would like to see, are only willing to see, quote unquote, when they come to visit New York. And I think it's pretty much an imagined, made up pandering of thinking that people who come to New York they're only going to see shows that are a little watered down, that they recognize somebody in, or they recognize some reference point, or or it's an adaptation from a movie they've seen. Like, I think a lot of tourists are, and I mean this literally not in a hoity-toity way, I think a lot of tourists are much more sophisticated than that. And
most
that they're coming here to see something authentically New York.
Yeah. Most tourists don't want to go to the Olive Garden in Times Square. No offense to the Olive Garden. I love your pizza.
Or maybe they do because they think that's all that there is.
Right. But most of the time, they're always asking, like, where are the places the New York locals go? What is the best pizza?
Yeah.
They want to
Where
know
am I
that.
going? Yeah.
Right. So, you know, as much as I love unlimited salad and breadsticks, like I also know that you can
send the girls to Nizza on 9th Avenue.
You can also send the girls to Dead Outlaw.
Yes,
and
you
maybe
can.
Happy Ending. Yeah. And like here,
what
shows are on right? I'm like
stuff.
blanking.
Yeah, pull up a list. Okay. But I'm thinking about like, when I was in high school, like we talked about this in our preamble before we started recording, but we were talking about Spring Awakening, how Spring Awakening was on Broadway when I was in high school and when I was in college. And that was catering directly to me.
Yeah.
Like, to a kid in the throes of like hormonal emotions and hell who was like, I want to go see that show because it seems like it's speaking directly to me.
Right.
You know, and it was a huge hit.
Yep. Okay. So I just went to playbill.com.
Okay. Read us.
All right,
What's
so
currently running on Broadway?
And Juliet.
Okay.
Aladdin. Seen it. But Aladdin. What is art? Oh, this is James Corden. And Bobby Cannavale and Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay.
Buena Vista Social Club,
Gotta
which
see
was,
it. I have to see
God,
it. I love
Barrett,
that album. I love that album.
It will change your life.
Yeah. I've heard it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank God it's on Broadway and it's still here. Like, I have chills. Like, it really is like,
ooh,
I know.
You do.
It's really one of those that will shift.
Slam dunk.
Slam dunk, man. Chicago pushes some buttons. Death Becomes Her. Hadestown. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Which, I'm sorry, let's talk about how Hadestown is a hit.
Total hit.
Has now become a long-running show.
Yep.
And literally came from an album that was an aggressively off-Broadway show that then had a run in California and then came here. And now it is like slowly becoming like canon Broadway.
Yeah. And not only that, they actually
and tourists
talk
are
about
coming to see that specifically.
Stunt casting. It's like very niche, cool celebrities that then again bring their niche, cool audience to go see this.
Yeah, have a lot to offer.
Really cool. Yeah. Like Annie DeFranco. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
Hamilton, if you've heard of that. Harry Potter. Have you heard of that? Hell's Kitchen. Really good.
Saw it. Yep.
Great.
Alicia Keys' Jukebox Musical. That was freaking
Just
great.
in Time, which
I haven't seen it.
He's wonderful.
Yeah,
he's so wonderful. Mamma Mia, Maybe Happy Ending, MJ, Moulin Rouge, Oh Mary, Operation Mincemeat. Okay, have you seen this?
I haven't.
Oh man, that's actually great.
Okay,
that's one where you're like, well, thank God that one's there.
Okay.
Yep.
A West End transfer.
It's so fucking good. Six, the musical, Stranger Things.
Jeffrey, our producer, and I went to go see Six.
Six is awesome.
And damn it if it wasn't delightful.
Oh, it's so good. All you wanna do. Okay. Yeah. Stranger Things, Book of Mormon, Gatsby, Lion King, The Outsiders, Waiting for Godot with Keanu Reeves, and Wicked. Wicked.
So yeah, a mixed bag.
It is actually
There's a lot
mixed
going
bag.
on. There's a mixed bag. And a lot of those are long-running shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
Or have like crazy IPs like Stranger Things.
But I think to my point, when you look at some of the stuff that's been running for a long time, it's not like, necessarily like movie to musical adaptations. Wicked was adapted from a novel, which we get it. It's connected to The Wizard of Oz. We get it. We understand that is, that's very approachable IP. But it's not The Wizard of Oz.
No. It's fan fiction, essentially.
It's basically fan fiction.
Yeah.
And it has become like classic Broadway.
Yeah, it's
because
like Marvel.
It's weird. So the assumption that tourists coming from everywhere don't want to see something that is inherently bizarre, because let's be honest, the only IP that makes good musical fodder, it's got to be weird.
Yeah. Can you imagine the producers
It's
when
not
Lin-Manuel
normal.
went up to them and was like, hey, so I have this idea.
Here's my pitch.
I just read the Hamilton novel. And so I have this idea.
The Alexander Hamilton biography.
I'm
and
going to
it's
make like a
doorstop
rap musical about him. Can you imagine them been like,
we're going to make a musical out of Alexander Hamilton's life, out of this book that is literally the size of a cinder block. It's going to be great. And they were like,
he also had like so much trust at that point because In the Heights was so delightful. But I can also see like
he had enough oomph to be able to take a big swing.
I'm sure some producers were probably like, well, that's not going to sail.
I think a lot of producers were probably like, pass, bro.
Yeah.
That sounds boring as shit, bro. Pass.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think anybody from Ohio is going to want to see that. They don't even know who Alexander Hamilton is, man.
There's no way Donald Trump ever produced a Broadway show. There's no way. There's no way.
Did I sound like Donald Trump?
A little bit.
Listen. No, I'm not. I can't even do it. I'm not willing to give him airtime.
I do, but again, like, it's not necessarily a trend. Like the movie musical, that's never going to die. But I think we need a bit more of a healthy balance.
Yeah. We need some trust.
Yeah.
We adapt some weirder movies that people love. Adapt some crazier shit.
Yeah.
And because people want to see it. Do you think that there's like genuine fear with Broadway commercial producers, like just general fear in the atmosphere around producing work that is a little bit more quote unquote edgy? Do you think that is legit fear, or do you think that's something that I'm like projecting onto the commercial producer community?
I think it's very real. I think like everyone comes into theater because there was probably some play, some musical, some moment in their formative years that like brought them here, right? Like I don't think anybody was like, you know how I want to make money? Like no one thought that because it's
Here's a great idea.
Right.
We're all going to be rich as Roosevelt.
Well, right. Unless you do a musical about Nazis, like there's just not gonna it's not gonna happen, right? So like, I think that
it's so depressing.
Ideally, back in the day, I'm sure every producer that came on to our industry had that I want to be a part of the cultural moment. Like I want to create the next Hamilton.
I want to make art.
I want to make art. I want it to be a cultural moment. I want to shift perspective. But yeah, I do think there's fear.
There's legitimate fear.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know how much I can say.
Just like financially in terms of like returns, people seem just very, at least from my perspective of just observing, people seem very obsessed with like more or less instantaneous return on investment. There's not much I
can say, but I will frame it this way. There was a producer I was talking to, very successful producer, who produced a musical within the past 2 to 3 years, let's say. So I'm trying to make it as ambiguous as possible.
Yes. No, stay vague.
And the real theme of the musical was something that we as a country are really dealing with politically. And they knew with our current administration that it wasn't going to do well. Yeah. They knew beforehand. And so, yeah.
Do you think they knew, or do you think they were trying to?
I don't know.
That's my thing is like, did they know that, or were they very afraid to take that risk?
They produced it. It happened. It opened and it closed. But before opening, this producer said, like, I don't think, it's all about X, and so our play literally is about this.
Was it more like a conservative show or the opposite?
A very liberal.
Very, okay.
Yeah. So they were very, very scared and they're very worried, because I'm sure in the concept forming of this, it was not our current administration. So I think there was probably a little more hope and drive in the engine. And I'm sure then as opening night approached and all the ducks got in a row, they went, whoa, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, it's real. And I think, it is a business. And I think a lot of people go, oh, the producers are the problem. It's like, they're a drop in the whole heart of this whole thing. They're as powerful as they are, as much money as they have, they still are only trying to control a very tiny narrative. And there's like a much bigger conversation happening. But I will say this, and like back to your thing of like, tourists and producers not thinking tourists have the want or the need to be pushed. Like Oppenheimer made a gajillion, I think exactly a gajillion dollars.
I do think it was one gajillion. Yeah.
It was. And if you haven't seen the first like 30, 40 minutes of Oppenheimer, it literally is them explaining physics to you. It is a physics class. And they're like, all right, stupids, lock in because you have to understand this.
You're going to sit down and you're going to listen to me talk about science. Yeah.
You have to understand this part for the rest of this movie to even remotely make sense to you. And people did. And people did. So...
And granted, there's like the, accessibility aspect of theater or whatever.
100%. But
not theater, Broadway, the accessibility
take
aspect.
that into account,
Yes, that's my point is I don't think that people are as unwilling to see bizarre, challenging, edgy, unique, sophisticated material as the fearful people who have a lot of money to potentially lose might think. I also think that I've been on shows that have run for 5 minutes. I've been on shows that have run for 2 years.
Right.
And Mean Girls would have run a lot longer if we didn't have to shut down or not even the show, because I literally...
Oh, right. You had just left like 2 days before or something crazy.
I finished a week before.
Oh, my God.
My going away party for my quote graduation party when Sabrina Carpenter was coming into the show and Gray and Kate and I were leaving, it was 10 days before shutdown.
That is so
It's the last party I went to before the pandemic.
Wow.
But I was just going to say that show would still be running right now on Broadway. If
easily.
they hadn't had to shut everything down and pull the plug. They would still be running right now.
Definitely.
And I do think when you compare marketing strategies and marketing budgets, that's really what it comes down to.
There's a lot of conversation around that too.
Yeah.
About how marketing really can shift a lot of interest with these shows and that sort of thing.
From my personal experience, it is the make or break. Mm-hmm. It's advertising. People don't know you're there.
Yeah.
People don't know your show is there if there's no advertising.
Right.
And if there's no marketing strategy. Because it's not just about
Shucked is like
buying
the perfect example always. The perfect
buying ad
example.
time or, quote, exposure or plugging things or whatever. You have to have a strategy.
You need that grassroots vibe, man.
Yeah, you have to have
down
a strategy.
There. Yeah.
You have to have a strategy and you have to make people know that you're there and make people know that you being there is somewhere that they also want to be. Did that make any sense at all?
Here's my...
None of my words are working right today.
It's totally fine.
I'm going to be really honest. I feel like everything I've said today is and then I said, this thing doesn't make no sense
at all. With the banana peel.
And then I fell asleep at the wheel. And then I went to sleep, wake up now, here with you, Bessie. That's...
I have one last trend
I want to
see die. The Broadway body.
Ooh, yeah. Die a cold, hard death, please. Ooh, yeah.
Here's the thing. Broadway, especially if you're in a dance show, but Broadway in general is ridiculously athletic and hard, and you really do have to treat yourself like an athlete even if you're not paid like one. And I think that one of the things...
Wait, say that again.
You have to treat yourself like an athlete even though you're not paid like one.
Mic drop. Freaking drop.
And all that to say, it's about strength. Strength comes in so many sizes. And I think that for so long, there was this allure of the showgirl with the long legs and the very skinny torso and the very tiny arms. And that is a beautiful aesthetic. Women are beautiful. But I also believe that strength and beauty is oh my God, in so many various heights and sizes and everything. And I think that if there was a focus more on strength and being able to be stronger than the show, right? Being able to completely do 8 shows a week and not oh, that was easy, but not completely fatigued and wiped out and burnt out from it. That's the focus. I think this getting skinny so I can be on Broadway or, my Broadway Bears diet, that stuff's got to go because it does breed a culture that, essentially Broadway's probably trying to shift. Musicals and artists are always trying to say hey, we're all here together and we're all amazing and all different. We're all stars. I don't know how that song goes, but
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I also as a person who does not dance.
Yeah.
When I'm going to see a dance show, I don't give a flying fuck what anybody looks like. I want to see people
jumping, and spinning.
dropping into splits.
Yeah, man.
Like throwing themselves around the stage. I want to see
abandon.
I want to see abandon, and I want to see people doing shit that I could never do ever in my entire life.
Yeah.
Ever.
And so I that is a trend I'd love to see die. And I do think there's more understanding of it. But I bet you anything, if there were women that came in here
we're
that
just not there yet.
Identified as more of a plus size actor, they would say 9 times out of 10, like, oh, I made it to the final callbacks, and this girl who is half my size got the role.
I don't want to like shout anybody out because I don't have their permission to do so, but I can think of like at least 5 actresses offhand who are deeply the best dancers I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Who get passed over for, you know, a different look.
And look,
quote,
sometimes like there's, and I'll just say this,
isn't
sometimes
that
there's
discrimination too.
Well, there's so much out of your control too, because like if you're replacing in a show, I will never forget, like I've gone far into a replacement like callback where you would go to the theater and try on the costumes.
Right.
And if you fit the costume, like you either got a call or you didn't. And so,
because again, it's a business, see?
Right, it's
we're not
showbiz.
going to rebuild a costume for anybody if we can find a girl who's going to fit right into this skirt here.
Yeah. So James Cagney put it so beautifully for you guys.
Who's here in the studio. Sorry.
He's been here the whole time. It's so weird. But, you know, I think that is a trend that needs to shift so that we're looking at it as
boring.
You're strong and you're superhuman because you can do something that most people can't.
Yes.
So forget about the size, the scale. I know that's hard, and I know that we have been put under so much pressure, but I promise you, I actually always have booked a show when I wasn't like super proud of my body, which is really funny. But I've always booked shows when I was like, all right, I'm not the like fittest girl here. I'm not the skinniest girl here, but I am the funniest. So, or I am the this, or I am the that. So, you know, lean in a bit more to the artistry of it and make yourself strong as fuck.
I'd like to see that too. As purely as an observer. I get bored when everybody looks the same.
All right.
Thank you for bringing that up.
That was loaded.
Thank you for bringing that up.
That was a lot.
No, that's good. And it's also very personal to you.
It is. And it always will be. So, and honestly, like, you know, email us and let us know how that made you feel. Because, you know, we can keep talking about it and bring some more conversation to all of it. And mayhaps we should.
And mayhaps we will.
If you want to email us, it is theatergirls4e@gmail.com, THTR GRLZ 4E, like forever, at Gmail. And
thank you for hanging with us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being the kids who are being disruptive in the back of the class.
We love you.
With us. Thanks for being with us today, girlies.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Look at this pod. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think our collective brains are so sweet?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to know all the secrets? The secrets of everything. We know it all. We've done the most. Sometimes we get a question about a ghost. That's true. That's not a lie. That happened last week. Wait, last week.
And scene.
That's it.